During this horrifying dinner, Bella tried stealing food and regurgitated. Seeing the kid beside her crying, she wanted to fight. However, Duncan, like a guardian, stopped her and whispered that vomiting on the table isn't very polite, and beating up kids isn't really, so he provided Bella with some lessons on fancy social etiquette to make her more well-mannered, and upon returning to the table, she decided to abide by the rules. Bella has the food. Super happy. Duncan's words transformed Bella a bit. From then on, when faced with troubles, she didn't scream like a child anymore. The next day, Bella explored, entered the bar, ordered a weird drink so bitter she cried, but colour was tastier. Soon, she got hooked on the booze, knocking herself out until evening, only to find Duncan scratching his head like a lost and starving. "Where on earth have you been?" Just then, an older lady strolled up to Bella, looking confused. She curiously asked, "Are you Victoria?" Bella sighed, "No, Pimbella." The lady politely apologized and left, while Duncan was fuming. She used to cling to him like a little bird, but now Bella flipped the script, leaving Duncan to feel a loss of control, a bit sour inside. With a strong desire to control, Duncan triggered Bella's anger. They originally planned to settle scores, but his jealousy over her closeness with others made him even angrier. She wanted to cry but held it back, so she bumped her head on the marble bar to feign pain, and Voyle Correns the sign. Tears flowed. In Bella's mind, if she could be intimate with Duncan, then why not with others? She decided to stop hiding her feelings. "Hey, dude, where have you been?" Duncan concocted a plan to tie Bella down. He took her on an adventure and made her hide. When they finally opened the crate, they found themselves on a cruise ship. Bella thought, "Are you really planning to fish me out of him giving you a new adventure? Finding me will be way easier," Duncan smugly declared. Feeling duped and trapped, Bella was fuming, while Duncan was basking in his childish delight. "I made a mistake, but it was all out of love," Duncan said innocently, while Bella secretly admired an older lady's hairstyle at the bar. So she introduced herself to Marcia and her partner Harry, and she was shocked to learn Marcia hadn't had any physical joy in ages. Bella thought to herself, "Isn't enjoying this the best thing in the world?" She couldn't even fathom how Marcia lived without physical joy. And just then Duncan showed up to whisk her away. But Bella was determined to stay and have dinner with Marcia, which only fueled Duncan's desire to control her more. Duncan, at his wits' end, proposed to tie Bella with marriage. "Me, no one can win my heart." That's a tough one, considering him already engaged to Max, but once again, Bella turned him down. She explored with Duncan for fun, when Duncan fell apart, losing control over Bella. She was angry and sad, coldly remarking, "Just go to the casino," and strutted off. Under Marcia's influence, Bella took a keen interest in philosophy books, hoping to advance, but Harry said it was futile. People fantasize about progressing through philosophy, just to escape the savage beast within. Duncan wanted to take Bella away, but her thirst for knowledge made her want to stay with Marcia instead. She always gained fresh insights from their talks, making Duncan incredibly envious. He thought to himself, Bella had changed so much, she was no longer the obedient one. She began to think for herself, and Duncan's grip on her was slowly weakening. Once in front of everyone, Duncan threw Bella's book into the sea, such rebellion. When Bella returned to the room, Duncan transformed like a different person, kneeling down and kissing her leg, as if this queen had awakened him. Bella mentioned wanting to see Marcia to solve her philosophical dilemmas, and Duncan exploded like a coal ember at the mention of Marcia. Duncan furiously jumped up, vowing to throw Marcia overboard, and Bella laughed. "You wouldn't dare." Bella's challenge successfully ignited Duncan's fury as he stormed out, planning to deal with Marcia. Bella happily followed behind, eager to watch the show unfold. Duncan got held up by a crew member passing by, saying it was way too boring on the ship. Bella, however, was having the time of her life. This was the happiest she had been since boarding. She discovered the joy of pranks, proving Harry right that human nature indeed runs deep. Bella felt smug, stirring up trouble between Duncan and Marcia, but both ended up miserable. Bella realized she was becoming cruel and couldn't sleep at night, so she sought Harry for help. When the ship briefly docked to Alexandria, Harry took Bella to look out the porthole where wails and sorrow filled the scene. Numerous children lay lifeless from hunger, resembling an apocalypse. Harry wanted to spark Bella's compassion through the scene. Kind-hearted Bella was horrified by the sight. She felt sadness for not being able to help the innocent and rushed back to her room, only to find Duncan passed out like a drunk, surrounded by money won at the gambling table. Bella planned to use it all to aid the refugees, but the ship was about to sail. She hurriedly told a crew to use the money for refugees. The crew promised to pass it, and Bella, naive, handed over the cash. She said thanks and left, utterly clueless that the money was swiped by 2 crew members. When Bella returned to her room, Duncan had already woken up and was throwing a fit over the missing money, ultimately leaving them wandering the snowy streets.